Lead form for an HVAC company. Watch this. "5 seconds, the owner's phone got buzzed with everything he needs to call that lead back. The customer got a confirmation, everything got logged, and nobody, not one human being, touched anything in between." Here's why that 5 seconds matters, to sit with this number. Call a lead back within 5 minutes and you are roughly 21 times more likely to qualify them than if you make them wait half an hour. 21 times. That's not a rounding error. That's the difference between the business that wins the deal and the business that loses it to whoever calls back first. And most businesses take hours to respond to a website form, not minutes, hours. The thing that you're about to watch me build takes 5 seconds every time it runs, forever, without a human being ever having to remember to do it. Now, if you're assuming what most people assume, that something like this is an enterprise software or a developer and have a 5-figure invoice, that assumption is the reason that businesses keep losing leads to a solvable problem, and today exists to break it. Over the next 15 minutes or so, we build this entire thing from a completely blank screen using a free tool called n8n. I've got nothing to sell you, no course, no coaching program, no affiliate link buried in the description. The finished template is free, direct download, the second the video ends. Let's build it. Here's the business we're building for. Summit Heating and Air. 6 technicians on the road and an owner named Mike. Mike's problem isn't that he's bad at his job, it's the opposite. He's too busy doing his job to also run his front office. Leads come in from the website form and just sit there for hours, sometimes until the next morning. And every hour one of those sits unread, that customer is calling the next HVAC company on the list, because a dead furnace in January does not wait politely for a callback. Let's do the math together, because I want you to see exactly where this number in the video's title comes from. Summit gets around 8 inquiries a day through that form. Each one takes roughly 10 minutes to read, write a reply, and copy into the spreadsheet so nothing gets lost. 8 times 10 times 5 business days, 9 to 10 hours a week of pure repetitive admin. Not selling, not fixing furnaces. Reading and retyping that same information over and over. That's the 10 hours in the title, and by the end of today, we're deleting every minute of it. This is n8n, free to start, and you can even run it on your own computer for $0. Hosting gets its own honest breakdown on day 3, and you get 45 seconds of orientation because that's all you need. This big open space is the canvas where your whole workflow lives. These little boxes are nodes, each one does exactly one job, which is what makes them easy to reason about later. And down here is the executions list. Every time your workflow runs, success or failure, it's logged here. And you can open any run back up and replay exactly what happened. Everything else about this tool, you'll learn by building with it. That's the entire philosophy of this series. This is video 1 of 30, every day of this month, one real, complete build, start to finish, no filler episodes. Today, the exact moment someone fills out Summit's form, Mike's phone buzzes with everything he needs, the customer gets an instant reply, and it's all in a spreadsheet before either of them has to put their phone down, from a blank screen, starting now. Every workflow starts with something waking it up. That's called a trigger, and ours is new lead form. n8n has a form builder built right in, which means Summit doesn't even need a real website yet to start capturing leads properly. The fields, name, email, phone, and then a drop-down for service needed. And pay attention to this one, because it's going to do real load-bearing work later in this build. Emergency repair, new install, and maintenance. Then, preferred timing and a free text message box. One thing worth flagging before we move on, n8n gives you a test URL and a production URL for this form. The test one is for us right now, while we build. The production one is the real link that goes on Summit's site. Mixing those up is a classic first week mistake, and you'll see exactly why when we flip this live at the end. Let's fill this out like an actual panicking customer would and submit. Okay, stop right there, because this next idea, without exaggeration, is the most important thing in this entire video. And it's not even a node, it's the data itself. In n8n, everything that travels between nodes is called an item. Think of it like this. Every item is a suitcase riding down an airport conveyor belt. The JSON is the packing list taped to the top. Every field labeled, so anyone who picks up the case knows exactly what's inside without unzipping it. Each node downstream is a baggage handler at one station on the belt. Grabs the suitcase, reads the packing list, does its one job, adds a tag, corrects a label, relabels the whole thing, zips it up, and sends it on. That's the entire mental model. And once it clicks, it doesn't unclick. Every node you add from this point forward, today, tomorrow, on day 20 when things get complicated, is another handler at another station on that same belt. If you can read the packing list, you can debug almost anything. Day 4 of this series is dedicated entirely to that skill. First handler on our belt. Clean and stamp. Real-world data is always a little messy. Extra spaces around a name or an email in all capitals. So before this lead touches anything important, we clean it. Trim the name, lowercase the email, and stamp on a timestamp field received at, so every lead from now on carries the exact moment it arrived. The node's name is the job description. Get in the habit of naming yours that way too. Future you will thank present you constantly. Watch how I grab the form data. This expression reaches back to new form lead and pulls the email field straight out of it, and you can watch it resolve live at the bottom panel. That's n8n's quiet superpower. Any node anywhere downstream can reach back to grab anything that happened earlier in the chain. Let's run it. Clean name, lowercase email, timestamp attached, checkpoint 1, the form works, and the data coming out on the other side is usable. Now let's make this lead smarter than a name and a phone number. Here's a trick that costs nothing and makes Mike look psychic to all his customers. An email address alone tells you more than you'd think. Somebody at gmail.com is probably a homeowner. Somebody at dallasbagels.com, that's a business, and a business lead is usually a much bigger job than one furnace. So business email flag, a small code node, about 6 lines, it splits the email at the @ sign, grabs the domain, and checks it against a short list of big free providers. Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, the usual suspects. Domain's not on the list, flag that lead as is business email, true. An honest note here, because I'd rather teach the judgment call than just the trick. You don't strictly need code for this. You could get most of the way there chaining clever expressions, but 6 plain lines of JavaScript are often clearer to read 6 months from now than a tangle of nested expressions, and knowing when to reach for which is a real skill on its own. Day 5 is entirely dedicated to this node. Today, you're going to get your first honest taste. That one small value rides along on the suitcase for the rest of its journey, and by the time Mike's phone buzzes, he already knows whether he's calling a homeowner or a commercial account, before he's picked up the phone. Now for the actual decision making. Remember that dropdown. A furnace that dies in January is not the same lead as maintenance sometime next month, and the workflow needs to treat them completely differently. So emergency, an if node, checking one single thing, is service needed equal to emergency repair. True goes up here, the priority lane. False goes down here, the standard lane. 2 paths from one question. This is called branching, and it's the exact moment a workflow stops being a script that runs top to bottom and starts behaving like software that makes decisions. Let's do the priority lane first. Let's call it Slack Priority Alert, because Slack is where Mike's phone actually buzzes all day. And I'm going to set this credential at full speed with no cuts because this is exactly where most tutorials wave their hands, say just connect your account, and leave you stuck for 40 minutes wondering what you did wrong. Watch the whole thing. And we're done. That's the honest version of Slack setup. A few minutes exactly once, and you'll never have to think about it again for the rest of the series. I mean that literally, by the way. This one credential is still doing jobs on day 29. Now let's make the message itself. Now let's copy paste the priority alert node onto the standard false branch and edit it down into Slack new lead. This is the standard lane, and watch this part because it's a real builder habit worth stealing. I'm not rebuilding this node, I'm just copy pasting the priority alert and editing it down to Slack new lead. Same card, no alarm formatting, no direct mention, steal from yourself constantly. It's faster and it's what keeps your workflows consistent. Next, because a customer can't be left hanging while all this happens backstage, confirmation email. A Gmail node sending an instant reply. Got your request, a Summit technician will call you within an hour. Short, on purpose. This email has exactly one job, make the customer stop shopping around. They asked, someone answered immediately. Done. That's the speed to lead payoff from the cold open, and it costs the business 0 seconds of human time. Let's move on to the last node in the chain, log to lead sheet. Appending one row, every field we captured, plus the business flag, plus the priority flag. Is a spreadsheet a real CRM? Absolutely not. It's the poor man's CRM. And for exactly where Summit is today, it's exactly right. Later in the series, we rip this piece out and upgrade Summit onto a real one. Test the emergency lane. Priority card fires, Mike gets the mention. Test the standard lane, clean card, no sirens. Confirmation email lands in both cases. Spreadsheet rows appear in both cases. Every piece works on its own, which means it's time to run the whole thing end to end for the first time. The workflow's live, production URL this time, the real one, not the test one we've been using all built. Phone's on the desk, I'm playing the customer with the dead furnace. 5 seconds. The exact same 5 seconds as the cold open, except now you precisely know what happened inside them because you built every piece yourself. Capture it, clean it, flag it, so Mike knows who's calling before he answers. Route it, emergencies scream, everything else files politely. Confirm it to the customer, log it permanently. 9 to 10 hours, a week, deleted. One more thought before the challenge, because it's the real reason this series exists. The workflow you just watched isn't impressive because any node in it was hard. No single step today was hard. It's impressive because it runs at 3 in the morning on a holiday, on the day Mike's best office person quits, exactly the same as it ran now. What you learned today isn't a lead router, it's that automation is made of small, readable, one-job pieces that you are fully capable of assembling, and the next 29 days are that sentence proven daily, with the builds getting bigger while the pieces stay this simple. That's a real working automation a real business would pay actual money for, and you watched every step of how it got built. The template is free, actually free, not free with an email wall, actually free. There's a direct download with the link in the description. There's also an optional list if you want all 30 of this month's builds bundled into one pack at the end of the series. And yes, an n8n workflow is literally what sends that to you when the time comes. Your challenge, and I mean go do this, not nod along, rebuild this exact workflow for a completely different business, a dentist, a landscaper, a gym. Change the form fields, the priority rule, and the confirmation copy. Tell me in the comments which one you picked because tomorrow's video builds directly on whatever you build today. On day 2, we're going to learn how to connect n8n to literally any app, even ones with zero official integration. That one skill more than any other is the difference between someone who clones templates and someone who is a builder. Subscribe if this was useful, and I'll see you tomorrow.